Hello my friends, my name is Irvin, also known as Kobuman. In today's video, it's all about help desk. We're going to learn how to use an example ticketing system, and I'm going to also show you 4 different examples of a phone call that you might get as a help desk employee. These phone calls will show you how to handle the calls and also how to troubleshoot the call. It's a very good video for those trying to get into help desk as a starting point in their IT career. Guys, please take a 1 second to click the like button. This way I'm not going to play ad at this point at all, but you clicking the like button really makes a difference for my video. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Alright, let's get into it. This video is designed for new people to help desk tier 1 or tier 2. What we will learn in this video is how to create a ticket and how to work a ticket in a ticketing system. Keep in mind there are many different ticketing systems out there available, and a lot of them are proprietary, meaning the company that you work for will have their own ticketing system, but lately or most recently they've all been web-based, just like this third-party ticketing system that I'm about to show you. And when it comes to navigation, working the tickets and this and that, it should be very much the same as you would do when you work for somebody else. So this is going to be very educational for people who are about to start working on a help desk or just tech support where they use a ticketing system. So let's get back to the first thing we need to do. We're going to create a ticket in this ticketing system, but we have to familiarize ourselves. Keep in mind you are new at the company and you've never experienced this before. Chances are you don't know what to do, you don't know what to look for. Well, this is typically what it looks like. You have a system that's open like this, typically web-based, and then on the left hand side you got few different tabs that you can select. First one is the main queue. What you're looking at here, and when I click on all open, and what shows in the middle is all tickets that are open currently. These are tickets that come through. And then next one is assigned to me, and if we click on, you can see that you haven't been assigned any tickets whatsoever. And then if we click on unassigned issues, you can also see there. However, if you go back to the all open, that means they're all there. That means that they haven't been worked yet, even if it's been assigned. So, and then of course we have incidents down here, and this is going to be based off a type of ticket. And then we got service requests, changes, and problems. So these are all different categories for these tickets that are there. Now, not to confuse you or to lose you, let's go ahead and create a ticket, because this will show you what the ticketing system is about. So let's say this reporter here, which is Kobuman1, he's the user that reported all 3 of these issues. These are all issues that he has. So let's see how he did that. So he went to a system, and he's got a probably similar system that we see here, and then he clicked on create a ticket or submit a new ticket. And the first thing that they're going to do is select an issue type, which is right here. Don't ignore this part where it says project. This is just because I'm an admin to this, so ignore this. What they're going to look at first is issue type. This is what's going to ask you, and they're going to either have a drop down here, or they're going to be able to type in the type of issue that they have. So they can just type in report an incident, and if they select that, for example, that's what's going to be selected. So whatever it is that they have, chances are there's either an article on how to fix it themselves if it's like some kind of a minor software issue, but they in general they will have a way to search for their problem, and once they do, they will come across their problem, they would select it. So for example, if they would just type in get help, it's going to show up, and then they can select that. At the same time, if they type in, like for example, name of the website or a program, it's going to find that as well, and then they can select that, and that way it's going to be routed to the support team for that specific application, website, system, or software. See, that it's very self-explanatory. So, and the next thing, once they figure out what the problem is and select the correct issue type here, they can type in the title of it. And it's kind of confusing here where it says summary, but it's actually just a title. So let's go ahead and pretend that this is a test ticket, and we're just going to type in test, so that way we have so we can track it, so we can see how it shows up in the system. And then we're going to type in test again, because we're just learning how to create a ticket right here, and it's going to be very simple. If we scroll down, there will be other things you can put in there. For example, a user can attach a screenshot, and if they click here, they can just add it, browse it, this and that. Typical. They would upload a screenshot of the error if they have, and then they can select the component, and then if they're savvy enough, they'll be able to figure out, okay, well, what is the issue about, and they would select that. So let's say they, some kind of actor directory issue, they can just select that. And then assignment here, you can see that it's automatic. We can leave that. This is one of those admin issues, and this is not what a user would see. And then you can also create a ticket on behalf of somebody else. So I'm going to create a ticket on behalf of Kobuman1, which is the same person that reported the previous issues. That way, if a user is not able to create a ticket for themselves, you can do it on their behalf as well. Another reason to create a ticket is to also keep track of internal things that you do, and you need a record of it. So doing tickets just as an internal part of what you do is a good way to just have a record of some kind of change that you have done on a computer, PC, or whatever. And then next thing we have is priority. Well, actually, we do have approvers, but this is related to whether somebody needs to be approved, for example, to have an access to a specific server, whether they're approved to have email or instant messenger, or even if they're approved to get new software, or if they're approved to get new hardware, right? So, and then we have priority here, and priority is kind of self-explanatory. If a big website is down, chances are they're going to select the highest priority, or if it's affecting a lot of people, they can just select highest priority. But if it's nothing big, they can just select lowest priority or whatever, And then of course urgency is also kind of similar to that, which I don't know why they have it twice, but if it's a website down, it's going to be, of course, critical, and then it's going to impact a lot of people. Impact, very important. If it's a lot of people, it's critical, and it's the highest priority. It's going to be expensive, widespread. If it's just one user requesting something, it's going to be minor. So, and then pending reason, this is if you're working on a ticket and then you need a pending reason why it needs to be approved, this and that. Like, for example, somebody's requesting something, that they would deal with that. Product categorization and this and that. This is usually automatically populated by the system itself. Users wouldn't typically deal with any of this. They would just put in a basics, ticket, and then you would have to figure this out if it needs to be if it needs to be dealt with or categorized. There is a category here, optional categorization. We can just select connectivity in case we are working with a big system downage. And then of course there are labels, and you can create your own labels. Okay, and then we're going to click create ticket. Now we can see on the right side that there's a notification that came up. That's typical in a ticketing system. If you're working the system, if you have it open, you would get a notification that the ticket came through. So if we refresh this, if I click on all open, it's going to refresh it. It may take a second here, but it's going to populate with the new ticket we just submitted. It depends on how fast the cloud is or the storage where the ticketing system is at. It may take a moment to come up. Let me hit the refresh button here. And there it is. There's our test email, and at the same time you and your group, including the user as well, will get an email notification that a ticket came through, and that would look something like this. Here's our 3 other tickets that are already in the system. The other one just came through, as you saw, so you can see that there is a new ticket that came. So you get a desktop notification, and then you get email notification. All right, now we learned how to create a ticket. That's very simple. Now let's go ahead and work a ticket. Here's a really good one we can pick. So once you're in the main queue, is what they call here, you can just pick any of the tickets and assign it to yourself if you're allowed to do so. Typically that's what happens. You can pick up tickets, work them, or sometimes a manager assigns a ticket to you. But this time we have the permission to assign tickets to ourselves, so we're going ahead and do that. we're going to select this middle one, and then we're going to assign it to ourselves. This is going to be slightly different, depending on the type of software you use. But typically, what you want to look for is something like this, where it says assignee. I want to click on that, and then I'm going to assign it to me. I'm going to click on that, and sometimes there's a save button or this and that. This particular system doesn't, and it's just going to assign it automatically. So let's go ahead and go back to our queue, which is click on all open here, and we can see now that it's assigned to me. And I'm going to go back to it, and then we're going to now work it. So how would you do this? There are a few ways of working a ticket. This is going to depend on preferred contact method that the user has. If we look at this ticket, it's not very detailed, right? And if we click on here, view request in portal, a lot of times it would open it up and there will be more information here, but it kind of looks the same as the other one. So we're just going to go back here. The thing is though, a lot of systems would specify what type of preferred contact method they would have. For example, I prefer to be contacted with email, or there would be their email address there or something like that. I prefer to be contacted with IM, or do I prefer to be contacted via the phone? So user would typically specify that, and there would be more stuff, detailed information about them. This system unfortunately doesn't have that information. The only thing we have is ability to reply to customer directly here. So this is what we're going to do. It says here, the issue is I have two monitors, both have the same picture. So that means that it's a configuration issue, and we can help them deal with that. If they are outside of your company, let's say you're doing tech support, for somebody else in a different state, you're not on site, you're not there to help them, you can simply say, if you've never worked with this person before, you can say, hello, my name is Irvin, with tech support at STL Missouri. So you want to tell them, hey, my name is Irvin, I'm with tech support or whatever your name may be, and I am at this location, so that way they know that you are that person. It's an introduction, it's a simple introduction, and then you can say, I have your ticket about a monitor. Right? And it's simple. You tell them who you are, where you at, and that you have their ticket about a monitor. This is what you typically do if you're contacting them first time through email or through, like, for example, instant messenger, or even if you call them. This is something you have to let them know who you are and why you're calling them, why you're contacting them. Since this is a message through the system, through the ticketing system, you don't necessarily have to introduce yourself, because they know that the system that they submitted a ticket through, somebody's reaching out to them because of that, right? And then, if you can help them, this is a remote type of thing. If you can take control of their PC and resolve this issue for them, that would be ideal. But if you don't, well, what can you do? Well, you can just at least suggest, have you tried, expanding your desktop onto second monitor? That's usually the problem when it comes to this, right? And this is one of those things that you can ask the customer. If you can take control of their computer, that would be ideal. However, if you happen to be on site, that would be even better. So you can say, may I stop by to take a look? When would be good for you? So that way you can go there directly and just resolve the issue. And then now we're going to just click save. This should send an email to the customer, and that should reach out to the customer in some way, whether it's they having to have the system up and they get a notification, or they would get an email from the system saying, hey, this tech guy, Kobo Man, is trying to reach out to you. This guy named Irvin actually is trying to reach out to you, or both. Usually it will be both. So they would get a communication from you. So the next thing you would do is add an internal note. Means that's a note for you and the people that work for you. or not the work for you or with you. If they want to know what's going on with that ticket, they can look up your ticket and see that you have reached out to user and awaiting feedback. Right, so you can be more detailed about this. This is just the basic navigation and notage of a ticket. So what we have done here is reached out to the customer. We have created an internal note so that everybody can see that what you've worked on and what kind of work you've done when it comes to this ticket. So let's say your manager is like, hey, what's going on with this ticket? They can look it up and see what you've done, you know. And if it's something you can resolve on site, you can say configured dual monitor, and then click save. And now, since you've resolved the issue, we have configured the dual monitor. At this point it's resolved. Now we can close the ticket, right? We can go ahead and close it, and in this case we have to go over here on the right hand side where it says waiting for support. If we click on that, it gives you a bunch of different options for the status of the ticket. You know, you can see that whether you escalated a ticket, you know, waiting for support, canceled, or completed. We're going to set it to completed. Sometimes it would say resolved or this and that. And now the ticket is completed and closed. And by the way, notice this little eyeball here. That's a watch option. That means how many people are actually viewing and watching this ticket. We can see that both of these guys are watching this ticket. So that means how many people are viewing it and working on it, which is kind of useful actually. So that way you can be like, hey, you know, ping them or, you know, send them a message. Hey, are you working on this too? You know, this and that. And all right, let's move on to another ticket that we can look at. And then if we click on all open tickets here, it's going to bring us back to the queue. And we can see now that the other ticket is gone. It's simply gone. It's closed and you'll no longer see it in the queue. But we do have other tickets we can work on. So let's do one more, which is a bit different. And this is a website down ticket. So this is kind of important. Our website is down. We can't access our main website. And then we can see that the urgency is critical. So of course, we're going to have to prioritize these critical tickets. Now, let me see. Does this system actually say in the queue anywhere that it's a critical? It doesn't. So the only indicator you have here is on the left hand side. It's kind of these icons. And, you know, this is kind of unfortunate that I couldn't show you that you know, there might be some other indicator that it's a critical issue. All you got to do is, the only thing you can do is go by whatever the summary is or whatever the title of the ticket is. So you kind of have to use your own judgment. In our case, I wouldn't have worked the first ticket first at all. I would have worked this one first. So you got to prioritize that. It's very important. But once we click on it now, we can see that it's critical. So of course we're going to contact them again. But before we do that, since this is a critical, we may want to do something else real quick. And this is going to depend on your business, whether you're the only one working there or whether you actually want other people involved. So there are options for that as well. And if you look on the right hand side here, we can add participants. If we click here and add participants, if your manager, for example, is Joe Schmo, Schmo, did I spell that? Joe Schmo. Let's do that. Joe Schmo, we're going to add him, and then he can watch. Or even if we have Bob, it's a boy, you know, as a co-worker, and he's working with you as well, we can add them as participants so they can follow what's going on, right? So that's pretty cool here as well. And then we can have, let's go ahead and work this ticket real quick. I'm going to reply. And again, there are no other way to contact them. So I have to contact them through the system. Otherwise, I would have called them, messaged them, and this and that. And then what I would do here in this case, and this is just an example so we can work the ticket, but there are many things that you might want to ask when it's a big issue like this. The first thing usually I would say is how many, I would say people are impacted. You don't want to say users. Usually that's something that IT would use within itself. You would want to say how many people are impacted. And then when was the last time it worked? Are you using the correct link? You know, stuff like that would help you resolve this big of an issue, right? And then later on, you know, if you do realize that it really is a big issue like this, support team for this specific website that they may be talking about may need more information. For example, host names, IP addresses, this and that. So I'm going to start with this. Typically, you would want more, but you would have to know what the website is and this and that. And this is just going to be depending on the work environment that you're at. Here we are learning how to use the system, not necessarily resolve issues because we don't have enough information, right? So we're here learning how to use a ticketing system, and that's that. And then, of course, you add an internal note right away and says contacted user with requesting more information. Now this is internal note, and this means that only you and the people that work the system can only see it. So you can say user this time because we are talking to IT people who might read this. This is for your own note, work note, internal note, and for the people that are IT. User cannot see this at all, so it's okay to say user. Okay, now that we're waiting on that, of course, is a priority. This is something you would actively work on, but we're just going to leave it like it is for now. Now, let's see. There are different issues. There are different options here for this ticket right now, and that's because the issue is literally selected as a problem. Now we have different things. Now this is going to, you know, depend on the type of work environment that you're working at, and then you can see that now we have an option just to close it, but that's only if it's resolved, and then there's cancel, and then there's under review. I'm not sure why it would be under review. That's kind of a weird option to have in a ticketing system, but I guess it could be related to some kind of an access request for something, but the fact that it's just reported as a problem is kind of confusing. Anyways, now we know how to create tickets, how to work tickets, and how to assign them, which by the way we haven't done here, so we haven't assigned it to ourselves. Maybe that's why the option there was a bit different. Well, maybe not. Anyways, again, there are many different ticketing systems, many third-party systems, and you just have to kind of adjust to them accordingly. So let's go back and see what else is open. We can see that this one here is assigned to me, that I'm working on it. Let's see on the next tab, assigned to me, it says 0 now, but now it shows up as 1 because it took a little bit to refresh. And then we got other tabs that you can get into, but these are the basics. These are the basics of working a ticketing system that you must know before going to work for a help desk of any sort. And of course, you can look at your own statistics here, and that option is not here, but I think if I click here, let me see if I can find it real quick for you guys. Queues, back to projects. Usually managers can only see reports, but then maybe we can view some reports here. Reports, workload, and yeah, so if you're a manager or sometimes even as just a tier 1 help desk, you may be able to see your own progress, and here it is. You can see that I have one issue that I've resolved. Any more detailed? So yeah, that just allows you to, you know, look up other people's tickets. Satisfactions. These are all statistics that managers only look at. Of course, you want to, SLA is also, you know, those metrics of how fast you resolve issues, this and that. But what I taught you so far are the basics you need to work the system as an IT help desk tier 1. So let's go ahead and look at what happened during this phone call, and then we're going to stop it in real time, and then I'm going to show you what happens on the back end. So meaning that what is going on with the person working a help desk while they're talking to the user. Thank you for calling tech support. My name is Irvin. What can I assist you with today?
Hi, I for some reason I can't log in to Outlook. Outlook keeps asking me for a password. I don't know why. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Sure. Does it give you an issue whenever you try to log in anything else, or is this just this specific system?
Let me try. I think it's just Outlook, but I'm not sure. I don't even know why Outlook keeps asking me for the password, but I think it's just Outlook. Let me try something else. Oh yeah, yeah. This other system is also giving me problems. It keeps asking for the password. I don't know why. I did have a little trouble. Like I may have like mistyped the password this morning
Okay. Well, no
a
problem.
couple of times.
Let me look up your account. What is your login ID for
My
this?
login ID is Irvin underscore CAN.
Okay. All right. I got it pulled up here. All right, let's pause that for a minute. Now we know the name of this user. So let's go ahead and look it up in Active Directory to see what's going on with his account. But before we do that, please take 1 second to click the like button. I really appreciate that. That way I don't have to play any ads for you here, and that way you are supporting my channel. It only takes 1 second. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and open up Active Directory. And within Active Directory on the left-hand side, you can see a folder that's called Users. If you select that, if you select users, you can see that a bunch of different users and groups show up in there. So you can scroll down and look for that login or the person's name. However, the easiest way to look somebody up is if you right-click the users folder and select Find. In here, you can type in the name of the user, and he said Irvin underscore CAN. So let's go ahead and click Find Now. And here it is. We found the user. We can simply select it, double click it, and it should pull up user's account. So let's see what's going on with that. He said he can't log in. So the next thing we're going to look up is the password. So we're going to click on the account. If we suspect that user is locked, in the account tab here, we can simply click on the check mark like this where it says unlock account, select apply or OK, and this will unlock the user's account. Now we can get back to them and let them know to try again.
It wouldn't take my password. I recently changed it. I think I changed it like a couple of days ago. So I may have mistyped it a couple of times. Is that why
Oh yeah, that
maybe
makes sense.
this is
So
happening?
if you mistype password once, you don't want to keep trying it. Usually it locks out after you try more than 3 times. But it's not a problem. I can unlock you. Would you like me to reset the password as well, or do you just want to give it a shot without me resetting it?
If you can unlock me, that would be great. I'd like to see if I can, because I don't feel like changing the password again. You know how it is. It's like you try to like come up with a new password, and then it it's like you're just sitting there trying to figure out, well, which one do I want to use this time? Like, you know. So yeah, if you can just unlock me, that would be great.
Okay, no problem. I have it unlocked right now. I want to give it a shot and see if it works.
All right, hold on. Let me try this here. Okay, I think I'm good now. Outlook came up now, and it's okay. It looks yeah. Okay, my new emails are coming through, so
Okay, great.
that's good. I thank you so much. I appreciate
All
that.
right, no problem, no problem. I'm glad to help. I'm glad that worked out for you. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that is all. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. My pleasure. Thank you for calling tech support. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you go, my friends. This is how you fully handle a help desk call in which you would unlock user accounts. Of course, there are other things you can look at. If you go to the account, you can make some changes to it when it related to password. If you want to change their password, you can change it here. If you select user must change password at the next log on, is something what I would highly recommend in a business environment. So this is a part of security. You want the user to have their own password. So I highly suggest that you check user must change their password at the next login, because after you change it, you give them a temporary password, they should be able to set their own. In order to change the password, we have to go back to the users folder and then find the user and then right click it and then select reset password. However, this is kind of counterpoint to what I said earlier that, if this is populated with thousands and thousands of users, it may not be easy to find. However, if you do right click on the users folder, select find, and do the thing I told you earlier, is to type in Irvin CAN so we can find this user. Here, since we found it already, we don't have to dig through the active directory. A lot of people actually don't show this on their videos when they show how to reset the password. Is that now, since you already found it, you don't have to dig and kind of like, your eyes are starting to dry out because you're trying to find this user. You can just find it here and then right click and reset password. And we're going to change the password to something temporarily. And then again, make sure this is checked. User must change the password at the next login. And then if their account is locked as well, you can check that as well. And then just click OK. And now it says the password for Irvin has been changed. In today's video, we take a look at a call handling for help desk tier 1, in which case user has a slow computer. I will show you the call handling, and I will show you what I did to resolve the issue as well. Friends, if you have a 1 second, please click the like button. I really appreciate it. This way, I'm not going to bother you with any ads at this point. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. So let's get to it. I'm going to play the call, and at certain times I will pause the call itself and show you what I'm doing on the backhand in order to help this user. This was going to be a fun video, guys. Let's get into it right away. Thank you for calling Help Desk Tier 1 Support. My name is Irvin. How can I help you today?
Hi, my computer is running really slow. Is there something you can help me with this? For some reason, it's just so slow today that I can't do anything. No matter what I do, everything is really slow.
Sure thing. What's going on? When did you start having this issue?
It started happening this morning. It was fine yesterday, and then today, for some reason, it's just very sluggish. I can't do anything. I really need this to be fixed so I can do my job.
All right, no problem. I can have a look to see what's going on. Can you give me your PC name?
My PC name,
Yeah, it should be under your PC information, or even there might be a sticker on your computer or something like that. It'll be either combinations of numbers or letters. If you can give me that, please, I'd appreciate it.
sure, I think I see it here. It says TMC3565830.
All right, thank you very much for that. Sir, do you mind if I take control over your computer just for a moment? I want to see what is going on and see if we can figure out what's causing this issue for you.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, let's pause the phone call just for a second here. So the user is talking about a slow computer. So it's a slow computer situation. So what is the major reason for a slow computer? In a business environment, most of the time when a computer is slow, it's because of an update. So let's get a look at the updates that we can look up here. And we're going to just type in updates and check for Windows updates. And sure enough, guys, we have some pending restarts for an update for a Windows 10 update. So what typically happens is that Windows tries to update, or the computer itself tries to update overnight, but for some reason it's not able to do so when the computer is not being used, meaning that it tries to do this in after hours when the computer is not being used. But chances are, if the computer was turned off, shut down, asleep, or any of those reasons, it probably couldn't install these updates. So now we got to get back to the user and let them know that this is what was the cause of this, and explain to them what we can do to resolve this issue. Of course, if your company has a specific tool that pushes updates to your computer, you would also check that to see if anything failed, because it's not just Windows updates that could be causing this, but updates for other software, and chances are there's a different way to control that within the company that you work for. It would be company specific, so you would have to check that as well. Other reasons for a slow computer is highly unlikely in a business environment. For example, like not enough RAM, this and that. That's not usually what happens in a business. That's something that home computers may have issues with. For a business type of computer, they're going to be up to spec, and the main reason for it to be in slow is updates. Of course, there's another reason, being a virus, but getting a virus in a business environment is so unlikely, it's unbelievable. So updates, main thing. Let's get back to the customer and tell him about that.
All right, sir. So what I found is that your computer was trying to get updates, but it's not able to. So at this time, we need to reboot your computer so you can finish Windows updates. This typically happens whenever your computer is either asleep and it can't get a chance to get its updates overnight. Usually, computers get updates overnight when people are not working during after hours where, it's not a, peak business hours or anything like that. So, but sometimes when the computer is asleep or turned off, or if it's shut down, it may not be able to get its updates. So what we got to do is just kind of wait for it to finish its updates. And I have a feeling once we reboot, it should be done. It'll probably be much faster. But yeah, that's what usually happens, and that should resolve your issue. So go ahead and reboot, and if that doesn't work, then we can help you further. See if that works.
All right, I'll give it a shot. All right, I'll go ahead and reboot now and then see what happens.
All right, great. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that.
Okay, looks like I can log in now.
All right, great. Go ahead and log in and we'll see how it goes. Now keep in mind, we just rebooted the computer, so it may be a little bit slow in the beginning, but it should be fine afterwards. Usually when we're rebooting the computer, it kind of clears the memory. So in that case, it may take a little bit just to log in, but afterwards it should be fine.
Okay. All right, I'm logged in.
Great. All right, let's see if it's running any better for you here.
All right, I'm checking. All right, so far so good. Tell you what, it's definitely faster than it was this morning. I don't. Okay, yeah, it seems to be fine now. So let me see if I can pull up my email and a couple other systems that I use just to make sure before I let you go.
Sure thing, no problem, sir. Take your time here.
Okay. I think I'm good now. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help on this.
Hey, no problem, sir. Again, sometimes this just happens whenever computers shut down. The best advice I can give you is that whenever you're at the end of the day, whenever you're done using the computer, just go ahead and like reboot it or sign off, because sometimes the computer wouldn't even update properly, even if you're signed into the computer for some reason. But the best thing to do is just to reboot the computer, and that should kind of be a proactive thing we can do here to kind of prevent this type of thing from happening.
All right, will do. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
All right, no problem. Have a good day. Thank you for calling tech support. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, let's get into it. But first, real quick, please take 1 second to click that like button. This way I'm not going to play any ads at this point. This makes a huge difference for me. I really appreciate your help on this. Thank you so much. And now let's listen to the call. And then after that, during the call, we're going to pause in the middle of it and I'll show you how to fix this Webex issue.
Thank you for calling tech support. My name is Irvin. How can I help you today? Hey, this is Bob. I'm having trouble with my Webex meeting. The audio doesn't work. I'm trying to use my headset, but I don't know what's going on. It's just that I've been told that they can hear me, but I can't hear them, or something's going on with my headset. I'm trying to use it for this Webex. Either, like, it doesn't matter if I create a meeting or join a meeting, there's always the same issue with the headset. I can't, and it's a new headset I just got from my boss. Trying to use it here, and it's just giving me trouble. Is this something you can help me out with?
I sure can. Let me get your PC name real quick. There should be a PC information on your computer for that. It could be a computer name or a workstation name. There might be even a sticker on your computer. Can you please give me that?
Sure. Here it is. It's 35C3TO578.
Thank you very much for that. Do you mind if I take control of your computer just for a moment? I wanted to have a look and see what's going on.
Sure thing. Go ahead. No problem.
Now, just real quick, I want to make sure the type of headset that you have, is it a USB one or is it the one that has two prongs or two connectors, if you will? So if it's just a standard one, it's going to have one that's red and the other one is black, and you plug it in usually in the front of the PC, or is just a USB one?
I have one of those that's just a USB one.
All right, no problem. I'm taking a look right now. All right, let's pause the phone call here for a moment so we can troubleshoot, so I can show you how I would troubleshoot this. He mentions audio issues. So every time somebody mentions audio issues, I would definitely look at the audio settings inside the computer. And notice I specifically asked him if he has a USB type of headset or if it's just one of those standard ones with two plugs. And he said he has a USB one, so we're just going to use that knowledge as our starting point. All right, let's look at the system settings. We're going to right click on our speaker icon here. I'm going to select Open Sound Settings. These are Windows 10 sound settings. I'm not a big fan of this. It is pretty simple, and yes, you can do some troubleshooting in here, but I prefer to click on the sound control panel here, which is the old school way of pulling up and troubleshooting system sound settings for Windows operating systems. So I'm going to minimize this Webex here just so I can get that out of the way and not distract you with it. So as in the first thing we see here is that we have Realtek high definition audio. This is one of those audio systems that will be on pretty much every computer that has Windows operating system. I guarantee you that if you open up sound settings on your computer right now, you will have a Realtek high definition audio. And we know that this is default sound for that PC, meaning that everything that's built into the computer is going to use this, and everything that is plugged into it, as in specifically microphone or a headset through the regular 3.5 millimeter connector, it's going to use Realtek. So we can ignore that part of it right now because we're not going to use it. We have to concentrate on a USB headset, and he specifically said a USB. The only other thing that shows up here is this Plantronics C610, which is a USB headset. And you can see there's a little, there's a green check mark here. That means that right now that Realtek is set as default. I'm going to go ahead and change this Plantronics to default. I'm going to select it. I'm going to click set as default. Now I know for sure that everything on the system is going to use this playback audio, as in speaker, as default. So we changed our speakers to Plantronics C610, which is the headset itself. There's nothing else there, so we know for sure that that is the headset that he is using. Now let's go ahead and click on recording here. This is going to be set up for our microphone, and here we go again. We can see that he has a microphone either built in or plugged in somehow, but if it's a laptop, chances are that it's just a built-in microphone, and it's again set to Realtek. We don't want that. We want to set it to our Plantronics, and we're going to set it as default. Now, you don't necessarily want to do this as set things up as a default, depending on preference of the customer, but a lot of times to make sure that the issue doesn't repeat itself, this is what I like to do, is set their main audio to default, whatever that might be. And I will, of course, double check that with the customer as well. So now I know that my microphone is set to the Plantronics, which is the headset, and also our speaker is set to Plantronics, which is the headset. I'm going to click OK. So now everything else that comes up should be using that as default. Now let's look at the Webex. Now, keep in mind, Webex is kind of tricky when it comes to setting up audio. If I click on the little cog here, and I click, just to click on it to see what are the settings. Where are the settings here for the Webex? And of course, you can see that there is a preference. And once you open it up, you assume that the audio settings would be here, but they're not, unfortunately. You can see that there's account, my personal room, meeting, join, phone numbers, calendars, notifications, video system, but nothing talks about the audio. The audio is actually set up when you start a meeting or join a meeting. So let's go ahead and click start a meeting, and this is going to launch our little start a meeting pop-up. So with the start meeting enabled here, our pop-up comes up. We can see there are some things here that are flipping through, and we can see that this is the audio setting right here. We're going to look at that here in a moment, but let's look at this real quick. You see how it says here, use computer for audio? A lot of times if you have a desk phone, like one of those physical desk phones that are just sitting on your desk, chances are there might be some kind of integration there, and you want to make sure that it's not detect it, because you can use a desk phone for Webex meetings and whatnot, especially if it's a Cisco phone, usually over IP phone, which all the new phones are. But in our case, we want to make sure that use computer for audio is selected. And let's go ahead and select on our settings here that are kind of flipping through. We're going to click on that and see what we have. And here we have to make a minor change and change the microphone here to make sure that it reflects our Plantronics headset. So we're going to select Plantronics headset, or you can click use system settings. I prefer just to click it microphone Plantronics. So if you're going to set up Webex only Webex to use this headset, you would make sure that it's selected to the microphone and not use system settings. So in case you want to use system settings defaults for something else, basically what I'm saying is you can configure Webex only to use the headset as well. Again, I'm going to double check this with the customer to see what his preferences are. All right, let's get back to the phone call. All right, sir, so it looks like there's just a configuration issue with the audio. The headset is probably working just fine. I went ahead and made the changes in the system and the Webex, make sure that this is all set to use the headset most of the time. Now just keep in mind, if you're going to use your PC speakers, or if you have speakers connected to it, these settings may have to be changed back. But right now I set your headset to default, so that way it's always going to use that for the time being. If you'd like, I can change it. I can just change Webex to use it and nothing else.
No, that's fine. I don't use the speakers at all. Headset is fine. I don't want people to hear me talking anyways, or hear what other people are saying on the meeting anyways.
All right, no problem. I'll go ahead and leave it like that, so it's all set to default now, and it should work. Do you want to give it a shot and test it out?
Sure. Let me get my coworker over here. I'm going to start a meeting real quick and test it with her. Hey, Susan, you mind testing this with me? All right. Thank you. Go ahead and join. Can you hear me? Yes. Yeah, I can hear you fine too. Awesome. All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you for testing this with me. Hello? Yeah, it's working. It's working fine now. So thanks for fixing that for me. It was so annoying every time I joined a meeting. It just didn't work. No problem. I'm glad to help. Is there anything else I can assist you with today? No, that's it. You've been great help. Thank you so much. You bet. You have a good day. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Bye. And there you have it, guys. Another successful help desk tier 1 phone call handled like an IT professional. This is an example of a help desk or a call center phone call in which you deal with an angry customer. So this is incredibly important to know, because you got to have the skill in order to resolve their issues. Sometimes a customer is so angry that you got to deal with it in a special way, so that way you can resolve his issue without it being escalated to your manager. So this is an incredibly important video, not just technically, and I'll show you what the problem is with the computer, but also in a way to deal with it, so it's a social video in a sense. All right, guys, let's have a look. But before we do that, please take 1 second to like my video. This really makes a huge difference, and that way I'm not going to play any ads for you. So what's going to happen, I'm going to show you the customer's phone call, an example phone call, and then I'm going to pause the video and show you how I fix it, and most of all on how I dealt with this angry customer. Again, thank you so much for your support, and let's enjoy. Thank you for calling tech support. My name is Irvin. How can I help you today? Oh my God. Look, I need you to fix my computer, all right? Look, everything is broken. I can't open anything.
All right, sir, no problem. I'm sure I can help you with this. What seems to be the issue?
I'm trying to open up these Word documents, all my Excels, nothing is working. It's just, the icons kind of changed. I don't know. When I click on it, nothing happens. It just doesn't want to. Look, I need this fixed right away because I got important things to do, all right?
All right, sure, sir, no problem. I'm sure I can help you. I'm sure we'll fix this for you. Just give me a few moments here. I hate to do this to you, but can you please give me the PC name? That way I can help you as fast as possible. All right. That way I can possibly take over your computer and just do it for you. All right.
PC name? What is this PC name thing?
There should be an icon or on your desktop or something that says PC information, or maybe a sticker on the computer that with a PC name.
All right. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, I see it. I see a sticker here. All right, great, sir. Can you please give me that? That way I can just help you real quick. All right, it's 3570COTAFL. All right, thank you, sir, very much for that. All right, I'm gonna make sure that I look at your computer. Okay, so what's gonna happen is I'm gonna request to take control of your computer, and all you gotta do is just click accept if there's a pop-up or anything like that. Just make sure you click accept on that. All right. All right, I see it. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for accepting it. All right, I'm gonna have a look now, and I'm gonna fix it for you. All right, don't worry. Just hang tight, please. All right.
Let's pause the phone call for just a moment to see what's going on here. And you can see that the customer here is trying to open these documents and it just keeps asking for something to open it with. These are Excel and Word type of documents. You can see they are extension on them is ODT and ODS. These are basically open office type of documents. They can also be opened with regular Microsoft Office, but in this case we're just going to reinstall open office in this, and this is going to resolve the issue. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Of course, in a business type of environment you would have a different type of tool, but in my case I'm just going to install the executable that I've downloaded with open office, and this will fix it.
Okay, sir. Hello, sir. Thank you very much for holding. Look, I found the problem for you. I just need a few moments to fix it, but I guarantee you I will fix it for you. The thing is, though, the Microsoft Office or the software basically used to open these programs for you is removed for some reason. I'm going to have to reinstall it. Unfortunately, this may need a restart. Oh my god. Sir, I'm really sorry, but I guarantee you this will fix it. It may restart, it may not, but if it does, it shouldn't take too long, but I guarantee you will fix it, all right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to reinstall it, and then it should work for you. Just give me a moment here. All right, fine. All right, sir, I'm initiating it right now. It's happening, and what I'm just kind of waiting for it to install. Just ask you real quick, do you need to save anything just in case the computer decides to reboot on you? Because a lot of times when you install these big programs, it likes to reboot for some reason. I don't want you to lose anything else, you know? All right, let me check. Yeah, I don't. No, I'm good. Go ahead. You're fine. All right, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you again for being patient with me. I guarantee this will fix it for you. You just need a few moments and possible a restart, but it should be good to go.
And hopefully this computer is fast, so that way we can get back to them real quick. So I'm just going to keep clicking next, and so far it's going really quick. And again, business you work for may have different type of tool that deploys these type of applications. You might want to go in there and do a repair or whatnot if it is Microsoft Office, but in this case it is open office. But either way, we're going to resolve the issue. All right, that was really quick, which is good. That means we can get back to the customer real quick, and you can see now that we can open these just documents. These are just fake documents that I created for the sake of video, and you can see now that it's working. All right, let's get back to the customer. It looks like it installed, and I don't see any reboot requirements, so I think you're good to go. You want to check it out before I? Let me have a look real quick. All right, looks good. All right, good. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate that. All right, no problem, sir. I understand the frustration. It happens, but you're good to go now. Is there anything else I can help you with? Nah, I'm good. Thanks. All right, thank you for calling tech support. You have a good day. All right, you too. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. There you go, my friends. That's how you handle an angry customer. I made this video as best as I can in order to show you guys how to do it, because it is kind of awkward to, I guess, pretend to be the tech support and pretend to be the customer as well in order to create this type of video. So I hope it came out good. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. I also like to see when people just say hi. I really like that too. And if you want to check out my channel, I have a bunch of different videos on help desk, desktop support, system administration, network administration, and all kinds of other IT stuff that you can learn from. And I also have, if you're interested in this type of stuff, I also have more videos in this type of format where it shows you how to deal with certain issues and technical issues that you may come across as a help desk technician. And again, if you're doing just call center type of stuff, these videos are also helpful. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please share this video. If you have a second, click the like button. I'd really appreciate that as well. Thank you again, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.